Good afternoon and happy Thursday. Today I'm bringing you card number 8 for November's virtual stamp camp, and yesterday I did the Christmas holiday card and got rave reviews from you guys. Thank you so much. It kind of brightened my day. Sometimes I put a card together and go, that's okay, and then you guys like, wow. The next day I might be like, wow, and then it's like, oh, you guys think it's okay. No, you guys are always so gracious. I love it. Hello, Lisa. You are like my #1 most gracious fan out there, I think. No, there's a lot of you. So today's card, non-Christmas, is actually a sympathy card. And like I always say, when I make a card similar to today, it could be sympathy, but then you can turn around, and I know this sounds corny every time I say it, but you could use it for a wedding card or thinking of you or get well or something like that. So cards like that can always be so versatile. And I'm actually pulling it from the Good Morning Magnolia. So about as completely opposite of Christmas as you can get as far as the nice soft colors. So very simple. I love teaching, how simply you can do things by filling in backgrounds, adding a splash of color, and then completing your card pretty quickly. So I'm excited to show you how I made this card. And also, with it being a sympathy card, there's so many of you that have been receiving my cards that do state, if you could just do one sympathy card this month, that would be great. But I hear that every month. So as I was kind of going through cards number 1 through 7, I went, today I'm on card number 8. So before I went to bed last night, I had this cute card in my mind, and then I woke up and saw Sam, my stamping friend Sam over in the UK. She had posted a similar card, and she had done hers in purple posy. And I'm like, oh, I want to add some ribbon, upgrade hers a little bit, add some ribbon. And so then I switched colors to coordinate with the ribbon and everything. And so so I think that card might be on Monday if I can still remember, and if laying in bed still happens to be the way it comes out when I put it on paper. My ideas can sometimes change a little bit too. I don't know if you're like that too, where you have these great ideas, then you go to get your cardstock gathered, and then it can look completely different too. So hello Pam and hello Lois. It looks like we've got a handful of you guys watching now. So I will get my camera turned around so that we can work on the card, and I'll give you a good view. So I'm kind of excited because the sun is really bright today, which always makes for a nice showing of the card here in my dining room too. So lots of natural sunlight's always better than good lighting because of shadows and such. So if you didn't join right away, here is today's card with love and sympathy. So June, you might still be getting snow over where you live. Ours has stopped now, but man, it was really coming down there for a while. So I think we need a little bit of like a splash of soft, subtle colors to maybe make us forget about the snow season for right now. So if you like to follow along and see where I'm getting my products from, the annual catalog here in Good Morning Magnolia was super popular in last year's catalog, and it did carry over again. And they're coordinating dies, and I chose not to use them today. I thought about popping up the flower, and those images that are in gray, that means that there is a die that cuts that out. And that set of dies has tons of like borders and different things that are just gorgeous in there. But I thought I'm going to go really simple. I won't even use my die cutting machine or any punches or anything. So it's pretty rare when I can find a card that I like that doesn't have punches or embossing folders or die cuts or something like that. So I'm pulling out the flower from here. And then for my greeting, okay, so that was page 34. Page 44, my greeting is from Itty Bitty Greetings, and I love the stamp set. Actually, like Good Morning Magnolia, there's 2 cases, so that's how big the stamp set is. And let's see, with love and sympathy, I'm pulling that from Itty Bitty Greetings. So that is on page 44 in the catalog. And so there you can see how the little tiny words can be used here and there to really make your other stamp sets go a lot further. That's how I look at greeting stamp sets. It just kind of stretches everything that you own to go one more step. So let's get started on this card. And I think I'm going to just start with my white cardstocks. So it's just basically Whisper White, oops, and basic black. And then my card base is the Blushing Bride. Yeah, I wanted to say, wait a minute, no, it is not Blushing Bride. It is Petal Pink, Petal Pink. So if I already incorrectly said that, it is Petal Pink. Because as I was looking at this, I know this ribbon, I have went through probably a dozen spools of this Petal Pink ribbon. So that's how I know it is always Petal Pink. Hello, Marsha. Hi, Tori. And Tori, yes, you did make it on time. You're not even having to watch replay today. It's a good day. Okay, so I'm going to start with my background, and that's just going to be black and white. So no coloring on there at all. Okay, so I'm going to just ink up the central focal point flower and just kind of start. I know I'm a little off. Like if you read left to right, I tend to, I don't know what it is about me, I tend to fill in my backgrounds kind of right to left and kind of start on the side and fill it out. Sometimes I'll actually go in the middle. The last thing you want to do though is go side to side and then try and think it's going to work to meet in the middle, because that's not going to be your best bet, because it's always going to leave a little bit of an awkward gap, and so we don't want to have that happen. I'm just going to rotate my stamp a little bit here, and I think it kind of looks more attractive if we can get little bits and pieces of the flower image here and there along there. So by just adding things to that edge, it almost looks like I created my own designer series papers. So that's kind of fun too. Hi, Becky. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Joan. And hi, Leah. So with that, that is all that I'm going to do for that background. Literally just is that. And then I'm just going to take my black ink pad again and ink up that single flower and try and center that on a little 2x2 square here. So that's just 2x2 Whisper White. And I'm going to set that aside. And then from, like I said, the Itty Bitty Greetings stamp set, that is such a great investment just because you'll find something in there for every occasion. I'm going to see how this works. I just have little white scrap Whisper White. I don't like it, so I can flip that over, but I kind of know what angle I went, so I angled it up. So there we go. That's not great. I'm going to do it one more time. That's why I brought out a whole strip out here. That looks worse. And I'm going to try it one more time. Otherwise, I'm going to go with the one that was pretty okay. Actually, that one looks about like the same, the other one that I just should have picked. Okay, so I'm going to let that set aside. I'm just being really critical of myself today. Okay, so for this, I think I am ready to go ahead and assemble this, and I'm going to put it on some basic black. So my card dimensions, when I'm layering this, the base, I'm opening this way, so it makes it easier to get my ribbon around it. And so 5.5 by 4.25, so I just cut my 8.5 by 11.5 the long way, scored it in the middle there. Yes, Lisa, I think of you now every time I grab scraps. I'm like, Lisa's going to be so proud of me for grabbing scraps. Okay, and then the basic black, then that's just 1/4 inch less, 4 by 5.25. And thank you, Tori. Yeah, I try not to be too critical, but yet I want it to look decent when I'm showing you guys. Like I can make other mistakes back there and cover it up in a better way. So let's see, 4 by 5.25, and this will be 3.75 by 5. So, and then with my seal here, I'm just going to add some of that and put my Whisper White on my basic black, like so. And then before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm going to put the ribbon on right away. So I'm just going to take, this is such good adhesive, I'm going to take 2 long swaths of that and put it back on the back side there, you can see. And then I'm just going to take, this is Petal Pink sheer, like it's an organdy ribbon, so it is pretty nice and sheer, but it is gorgeous. And so with that, it doesn't take a lot of bulk on the back side when you're adding that layer of ribbon on there. And I kind of want to pull it tight so that it doesn't bow up on my card or kind of bubble or something. So I think that stuck really well on there. Excuse me. Hello, Cheryl. And I thought of you because I got my ribbon on. Cheryl says, oh, I always forget to put on my ribbon, assemble my card, and then go, there's where the ribbon should have been on the step before. Hopefully it doesn't happen every time too, Cheryl. And then I'm going to just go back over those two spots and then just put a little bit more tape over top that ribbon now that I have that on there. So now this is ready to go on my card base, and just adding that little pop of color just from the ribbon really makes the card look complete, like so. Yes, Leah, you should order it. I think you'd be really happy with it. I love helping you guys shop because I know your personalities so well from being in person and just getting to know you guys that it does help me pick out things. And sometimes I will actually see new products before you do, and names come to mind like, oh, such and such will just love this, that, or that. Whoops. And so that's kind of fun too. So Leah, I know you well enough to know you will love that ribbon. And I'm almost wondering if you already have some of it because it's not a new ribbon, but yeah, just here, I'll give you guys all a brief look. Usually I hold that up. Organdy striped ribbon, and then it is in the petal pink. So with the code number right there. So that's what that is. Now it's time to color in the flower, and that doesn't take much time at all. So I'm using the petal pink blends, and I'm just kind of going to kind of outline that whole flower. Just kind of scribble where the artist has kind of done some more darker detailing with the image there, and just kind of color in that with the darker of the two of the petal pink, like so. And I might actually just take this fold and color that all in. So we have that. So it's going to be a light, subtle colored flower. And then I can go back with my lighter of the petal pink and color here too. So Leah asked, what's the name of the ribbon again? Can you believe I can look at what your comments are while I'm coloring? So it is a petal pink striped organdy ribbon, and it's in the annual catalog too on the page with all the ribbons, so that should make it easy to find. Yes, and Cheryl, I do know you too well, unfortunately. No. Or yes, no, fortunately, there we go. And then for my green, there's so many green choices, and so this is probably one of the lighter choices that I would go with. It's the soft sea foam. So I will start with the darker of the two in the set. And the soft sea foam, I don't use tons just because I tend to color with things that are a little bit bolder. Images and such, but when you see, you know, how soft this image is, the soft sea foam is about perfect to just add that little bit of color. It almost reminds me of like the sepia tone greens that you would see on the old-fashioned pictures where they just add that little kind of hint of color onto it. So just fill that in with the light soft sea foam. And this is what we have, ta-da! So you can see the brightness, the lightness, and the shading in there just from those subtle colors there too, but yet it really makes it pop in a nice way. So that's ready to go on my other piece of frames or matting basic black. So my white square is 2 by 2, and then the black is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then let me get my non-ribbon cutting scissor, and I'm just going to snip off the end of my sentiment there. So with love and sympathy. And then I'm going to take my tape and run that along there as well. So this is about a 1/2 inch strip, and so I'm going to put that on a almost 3/4, but a little bit less, because usually when I do my matting, I try and do it like a 1/4 inch up, but with this being kind of a longer, skinnier sentiment, and with the focal point flower being, you know, pretty small, I didn't want this to get too chunky looking in comparison. So let me just snip that off by eyeing it there, and that works out pretty well. And then this I'm just going to pop up with some dimensionals. So I'll add kind of one in each corner there. And then I'm also going to pop up my sentiment too. And so with that, it's going to overlap on this side, overlap my flower. So I'm just putting a dot of my seal adhesive right there. And then I'm going to still add a couple dimensionals kind of on the end and in the middle, and this will make sense when I flip it over because I kind of want it to stick to the card and stick to my flower here. So I have all these off. There we go. So this I'm going to put here, the flower for the focal point, and because that's popped up and this is popped up, I'll kind of put it closer to the camera. You can see that's going to sit directly on my card there, and then my other two dimensionals are going to stay popped up on the card too, so that, there we go, so that it's all kind of the same, like so. So that works well. Leah, the sentiment here is from Itty Bitty Greetings. And so, yeah, it's very close. There's Itty Bitty Birthdays, Itty Bitty Greetings, and Itty Bitty Christmas. And I have been using that Christmas, Itty Bitty Christmas one very often. So, yeah, totally love all the little Itty Bitty ones. And thank you, Becky. Yeah, so pretty. So, then to kind of finish my card, I always think, okay, what can I do for the inside and the outside? From Good Morning Magnolia, and that's where the flower's from. They have thinking of you, hello, thanks, different things like that. So I did pull out the thinking of you. If you know, like somebody, how do I want to say this? Sometimes there are sympathy cards that are more personal than others. So there's a great thing. This journey of life is best shared with a friend. We'll get through this together. Like if you had a close friend that you were sending this to, that would be a great sentiment. And actually I made some kind of personal cards with this on it when COVID started, because it's just kind of a neat sentiment, but it's not something that you can put in every card. And since this is the card that I'm making to send out for those that are ordering them through my November virtual stamp camp, I thought I'll tone it down a little bit with thinking of you and just make it more openly versatile and more usable. So that thinking of you, just the fancy cursive font of that really goes well with that because it's from the same stamp set. And then I'm just going to re-ink up that flower again and then just kind of make that a little subtle image down in the corner there too. And then for my embellishment, hi Amy, haven't seen you for a while. For my embellishment, I didn't want it to be, especially with it being a sympathy card and pretty plain, I didn't want it to be like, wow, look at this sparkle, but yet I thought this added some class to it. And these are the champagne rhinestone basic jewels. So I'm just going to take your pick tool here, get my little tacky end set up, and I'm just going to add one little rhinestone to the corner of my square here. And then I'm just going to kind of add a couple more offsetting that square like so, just in a couple of the white spots there. So yes, thank you, Pam. So sometimes, yeah, when I do things or when we were in person, I would just do this, but unless you really picked apart my card, and a lot of you would, you'd pick up my cards and kind of look like, how did she do that? Or sometimes things kind of take on an optical illusion too. So thank you, everyone. Very simple. And like I said, the beginning credit of this card goes to my UK friend demonstrator, Sam Donald. She's just like a rock star over there. And like I said, this is not what I had in mind before I went to bed last night. But when I saw this, I wanted to make one right away just because I didn't want to forget the idea of it. And I thought, you know, if you have lots of pretty ribbons, how many of you have more ribbon than you'll probably use in a lifetime? You could just kind of switch up this design and idea based on your ribbon or different cardstock colors and things like that. But with the black and white being such a classic look, that would be an easy thing to change up. So hopefully that brings you some inspiration today. And I can't believe that we are already on card number 8 for the month. So, so 2 more cards left to do. Maybe the happy, cute one that I was thinking about doing today, that'll probably be on Monday. Tomorrow will be a Christmas themed card because I'm going every other day this month, so I don't have too many Christmas ideas for you, and yet give you some ideas. I know some of you are like, oh, I haven't even thought about making Christmas cards, but I want to. And some of you are like, oh yeah, I did that in July when we couldn't go on our family vacation or something like that too. So hopefully this will be a good even mix. So card number 8 out of 10, and I have my code listed there, and now I'm going to upload the card as well as all the supplies I used to make it. There's not a lot of supplies today to this card, which is kind of nice. So that's always a nice card to pull out if you need a quick card. You won't have to make a huge mess to make it either. So I'll list all the supplies used to make the card. If you need to place an order, you'll get your set of 10 cards free with a minimum $75 order, or otherwise if you just want this set of cards, just let me know. So other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Take care.